Every year in the NFL, it's a new team. As far as goals go, we have one. Putting a f***ing ring on our finger.
Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer Podcast. This is Ralph Phillips.
I'm Molly Bay.
Today is September 19th, 2022, better known as
Victory Monday.
we got a double shot of Victory Monday because we have not done a podcast this whole season yet.
Whole season, we're slacking off.
Whole season, and we have been wanting to because it has been an awesome season so far. Now you got to excuse everything. As you know, if you're a regular listener, we are in the process of moving. We have gotten moved in. We don't have anything set up. The audio is probably horrible here. You're going to hear stuff. You're going to hear air conditioners. The sound is bad. Camera work is bad. But we just had to get something out there, man. We just had to. So we slapped this together, and hopefully it'll be decent enough that you could listen to it for an hour or so without wanting to rip your ears out. Now, we wanted to have a podcast out by the mid of last week. We really thought we were going to be ready, and we should have been, but and guess what? Surprise, surprise, we have excuses. Ralph, for some reason, still thinks he's 20 years old and can do everything himself. Mm-hmm. I am a complete DIYer. I don't let anybody do anything.
Does not ask for help.
No, and so I spent 5 days, 12, 14-hour days moving, and ended up wearing myself out to the point I made myself sick. I think that's what happened. Mm-hmm. But anyhow, Thursday I was totally wiped out and couldn't function. I couldn't move. I was totally like I had the flu. Who knows what it was? I don't know. But anyhow, I was laid up for a couple days. So we were not able to get anything done. Molly, she ended up getting the kitchen done, unpacked and all that good stuff. But everything's been put on the back burner until basically today is the first day I've really had enough energy I can... Energy-ish. Yes.
Almost there. 80%.
I don't know why I'm wearing these headphones.
I know. Well, I felt left out without them.
Well, I had to hear the intro so I could know when to jump in. Oh, man. I tell you what, Buccaneers, I was worried that Todd Bowles was going to be,
Yeah. This whole off-season Debbie Downer over here.
Well,
questioning the credentials of Todd Bowles.
But I recant. I was wrong. I think he's got this team running on 8 cylinders, man.
Boom. That freaking defense.
Well,
they're so physical.
Yeah, Devin White is just blowing people up. Mm-hmm. I mean, he has hit a level this year that we wanted to see him do. I mean, he's already got 4 sacks this year?
Something like, yeah. I think so.
I mean, we got 6 sacks in the game yesterday.
I know.
He got 2 of them. He got 2 in week 1.
Yeah, I think you're right. And then Jamel Dean with 2 interceptions in a game. Mike Edwards with his pick 6.
What is up with him? He's just a ball hog.
I was saying to Ralph earlier, I was like, man, when he comes up for contract, he is gonna get some money from somebody.
We better sign him.
We better sign him.
Re-sign him.
I mean, I feel like he's so far down on the totem pole, but he deserves to be way higher than what he is.
Yeah, he's just a sneaky dude. Mm-hmm. You don't think much about him, and then all of a sudden, bam, pick 6.
I know.
All the time.
I can't wait to see what he does next week. Against Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, that's right.
Isn't that his favorite? Isn't that who he picks off all the...
Yeah.
Didn't he get 2 in one game?
Wasn't it in the playoffs?
I think so. That'll be the Packers preview. We'll get on that.
We're jumping way ahead of ourselves here.
I know.
But yeah, one thing we were correct on is we're focusing on running the ball much, much more. yesterday, Leonard Fournette had 24 carries. He only had 65 yards and 2.7 yards per attempt. We couldn't run the ball well. He had a couple he popped off that were pretty good. But it didn't matter. We kept running it. And that's what you want to see, man. And we did the same thing with Dallas, except I think he had 4.7 yards per attempt.
Let's see, I got it.
Against Dallas?
6.
Wow. 6 yards per attempt. And 21 carries. So we're focusing on running the ball more. A lot, actually. That's half. It's like a 50-50 split, which is great. I love it. And I think that helps the defense. You know, it keeps them on the field or off the field, gives them time to rest, and it gets them motivated. When they see these runs, pow, pow, they're like, yeah! Because, you know, defense is much more about the physicality, right? So
it's either the physicality from the run game, or we just start a fist fight and a brawl in the middle, and then it gets them fired up, and then they're just fired in on. So if you can't get the run game going, just start a fight. Yeah, let's do it that way.
Oh, we'll get to that fight in just a moment. Well, that was great. So, anyhow, the first part of this game, it wasn't looking good. I don't think I've seen Tom Brady that mad. He was mad for the first 3 quarters. He was he was screaming, angry, throwing tablets
mad at everybody.
His helmet.
Did you see when him and OBJ on the sideline greeted each other? Oh, Tom was like, "Hey, I don't have any receivers today. You want to come play for me?" Oh, I know. And that was before Mike Evans got ejected.
Yeah, we ended up down all of our top receivers. We were running our second stringers out there. Perriman did pretty good. He showed up. Had that touchdown was just beautiful.
Yeah.
What was that, in the fourth quarter?
He does this. You call his number. He's there.
Yeah.
Scotty Miller, on the other hand.
So inconsistent, man. He'll make great plays and then garbage plays. He had a couple of balls that were right in his hand. One, he fell down before the ball got there and ended up juggling it one hand.
I just don't understand why he made the roster over Tyler Johnson.
Tyler Johnson would have caught them balls.
I think so.
But it's a special teams is what everybody said. It's what Todd Bowles said. It was special teams, came down to that. And our special teams has played a lot better this year. I was watching the All-22 for the Dallas Cowboys, and we're doing some innovative stuff on special teams, which we never hardly ever do. So excited about that. We did let the punt returner for the Saints, kick returner, get some good yardage on us late in the game. But other than that, we did pretty good holding them. And I like that Carreras dude. He's
Camarda,
the punter.
Yeah. That's Hardy, their returner. He got -6 yards punt returning.
Wow.
So the kick return is where he got us.
Okay.
And but he just torched us last year.
Yes.
I mean, I was thankful. Or no. Now I'm thinking it was Devontae Harris. Was it Hardy or Harris last year?
Do not know.
Anyway. So yeah, it's a big improvement though on special teams.
Yes. Definitely. They're playing with a little bit of heart. They're out there trying to tackle and block.
I know.
I'll have a breakdown of that when I can get the All-22 situation worked out. So right now it's kind of all everything's in flux right now.
Everything's on the back burner.
Yeah. Except watching football.
Yes. It's a priority. We didn't have our internet hooked up until we got here Sunday, and the Cowboys game was that night. So the internet was not coming until Monday, and so we went out to Walmart and got an antenna. Ralph's in there with the rabbit ears, trying to get it figured out.
100% old school. My daughter was like, "What is this?" Well, I had forgot that, we've been cord cutters for almost a decade now. We haven't had cable really. And, we do everything on the internet. So when we weren't going to have the internet, I'm like, how are we going to watch the game? I was in a panic. And then it dawned on me. I was like, oh, this is a primetime game. It goes across the airwaves. Those things still exist. So we ran up to Walmart and got an antenna, and it worked great. I was going to return it the next day, but I was like, oh, I'm going to keep it just in case.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Because you never know, power goes out or internet goes out. Yeah. It's just, that was $40.
It's a steal.
Should have got two. All right, so starting off with the New Orleans game, we had Julio Jones was out, which that was a surprise.
I know, where did
it
that
happened
come from?
right before the game.
Yeah.
I can definitely say that because I had Julio Jones on my roster in fantasy football, and I had to scramble to replace him. Chris Godwin was out. He's still dealing with that hamstring issue. Donovan Smith was out. Josh Wells played.
And then got hurt.
And then ended up getting hurt. And Akeem Hicks ended up getting hurt during the game, his foot. Now, see, that's something we and you had an issue with. Well, I think everybody did. He's injury prone. So, and I didn't really see much from him during the game either. Actually,
no, him and Vita both.
Yeah,
they were running right up that middle.
Yes, yeah. They did. They didn't have good games. The Nacho, when he was in there, he was like wild, man. He was going crazy.
His dreads have gotten so long. They're so long. Well, Steve McClendon used to have the really long dreads, and you could tell. I could tell from the dreads with him, but now it's a Nacho.
Yes. And
his are a little thicker than McClendon. So anyway, they've gotten really long.
Yes, and as he's frantic anyhow. Now he's got those real long dreads that are flopping around
going
too.
Everywhere.
But he did well, from what I could see. I can't wait to see the all 22 in this game. So, right away, right off the bat, they ran the ball like right down our throat. I mean, they got the ball. We kicked off to them. They ran it. It was like first down with runs. And they marched right down the field.
I know.
I was like, oh no, is this going to be
one of those games? Yeah.
And they marched right down the field. We stopped them in the red zone. They kicked the field goal. And then that was the best they looked all day.
I know.
That used to be that way with the old Buccaneers, the late 90s, early 2000 Buccaneers. The defense would come out. They'd start off slow. And the opposing team always scored quick. And then that was it. And then it was just like the clamp came down and it was a disaster. Kind of like what happened yesterday against the Saints. So they scored within the first. They scored at 9:02 in the first quarter on the first drive. Got 3 points. Then we get the ball, and Brady fumbles it and turns it over.
That was so weird too. He just closed his hand before it was before the ball. I don't know if it was a miscommunication between the two or a timing issue. You couldn't tell if Ryan Jensen was in there, would their timing have been a little bit better? It's just Brady just closed his hand
Yeah, it was very strange.
A second too soon.
It was like a mistake you would make, you're walking down the street and you just all of a sudden just forget how to walk.
Yeah.
You just fall on your face. It was just one of those 1 in a million things. It seems like just closed his hand before the ball got there. Luckily, it didn't jam his fingers or anything like that. It looked like he did hurt his hand a little bit, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, and it just seemed like you could feel is this going to be the tone of the game?
Right.
Because the Saints have been Tom Brady's kryptonite since he's been with the Bucs. And was it going to be another one of those games?
Yes, I definitely started feeling that way. I was like, oh my gosh, because they had gone down the field, marched down, we just ran on us, just bam, and then they were getting first down after first down after first down, and then we did stop them. They kicked a field goal. We get the ball. We move down to their 25, and Brady fumbles it. I mean, Tom Brady doesn't make mistakes like that very often, and it just boom. Mm-hmm. And you're thinking, what the? It's going to be one of those games. And then we started getting these stupid penalties. You know, the defense was doing great. We got a sack on Winston, and 22 come running in. And to me, it didn't even look like he hit Winston in the helmet.
He didn't. He hit him in the upper back.
Yeah, and they're like, oh yeah, you can't do that. I'm like, the head, neck, shoulder, forearm, abdomen area of the quarterback is off bounds.
Well, I mean, Jameis Winston is one of those quarterbacks that you can wrap up and he can get out of it, or he can still be going.
Right.
So for a defender to come in there and see, oh, he's in the middle of being tackled, but this is a type of quarterback that might be able to escape one of those. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're negligent if you're not getting in there and wrapping him up.
Yes. And, you know, I've had an issue with the Saints and the referee, and you listen to this podcast, you know I complain about it. It seems like with the Saints, they always get away with so many penalties, and we get called for all these junk penalties. And again, I felt like the same thing that's happened for the past 3 years was just playing out again. Mm-hmm. You know, you're just like, man, we start playing well, we get killed by these dumb refs on stupid penalties, you know, and then all of a sudden we start making mistakes after mistakes, mm-hmm. you know, and they just kind of just start steamrolling us. And it looked like it was going into the second quarter, same stuff. And then we get down in the red zone again, and it's 4th and 1. So, you know, you're thinking, all right, Tom Brady, quarterback sneak.
Quarterback sneak.
He does he's a master at this. I don't know if he's never gotten 4th and 1, mm-hmm. the quarterback sneak. And what do? We hand it to Fournette, and they stop him.
The play had so much time to develop, mm-hmm. because he's running from 3-4 yards back, and by then the defenders have already gotten through. It was so infuriating. It was so maddening, that play call. I just couldn't.
You can't stop looking at the camera.
What do you want me to look at?
It's just funny.
Okay.
You're like talking to yourself. It's like my daughter. If there's a mirror in the room.
Yeah, we can't help it.
She just sits there and talks to the mirror. I mean, she'll talk to you, but be looking in the mirror at herself.
Thanks for pointing that out, Ralph.
Hey, my pleasure. So it started again. It just started looking like this is going to be another typical Saints game. You know, we haven't won against these jerks mm-hmm. for 3 years, except for the playoffs when it mattered.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like this was going to be another one. Now, the announcers were driving me crazy, and we were talking about this during the whole game, up until probably the middle of the third quarter. They couldn't stop talking about Jameis Winston. I mean, they were just lifting him up and putting him on a pedestal. They were just like, he's struggled through injuries. He's, really worked his butt off. This is his second chance, and he's reduced his turnovers. Yeah. And me and Molly were sitting there going, yeah, just wait. He's going to screw up eventually, yes. But it was very annoying. I mean, here you are. You got Tom Brady on one side. You got Jameis Winston on the other side. And they're going to talk about Jameis Winston 80% of the time.
Okay.
You're like,
are people just tired of hearing about Tom Brady, though?
I don't care.
I mean, the rest of the league, they all hate Tom. Nobody wants to talk about Tom. We all know he's the GOAT.
Is there anything else left to talk about Tom?
I know. You're right. What else do you say? I mean, we could go full TMZ and talk about what's going on with Giselle the whole game. But I don't think the NFL wants to talk about that.
I don't want to talk about that either. But it was just annoying to me. I'm just like... Which Greg Olson, who was our announcer, he's great. He's fantastic. I really am impressed with him. I mean, he's just a really good announcer. He just commands the room very well. He's very good in his speech. He brings up interesting topics. Keeps the flow going. It shocks the hell out of me after that
Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks, right. Where he was on there. We're like, man, he's a jerk. It just really surprises me how well he's done in the booth. But he just couldn't stop talking up Jameis Winston. And, the whole time we're sitting there going, this guy doesn't know Jameis Winston. He's never seen Jameis Winston play.
Well, that's weird because he was at Carolina.
I know. He played against him for years.
Right.
Excuse me. So we get another bullshit, unnecessary roughness penalty on Levante David. We stopped him on a third down. Levante had to, in order to stop him, the only way he could stop him was to, basically hit him in the head. Because the guy was coming forward with his head. The only way he could have stopped him was to, and they both had to get real low. There was nothing else Levante David could have done there.
No.
And for them to call a penalty, Levante David never gets penalties, ever.
Right.
I mean, I think
wasn't it like he was on like a 6-year streak of no penalties or something like that? It was
something
a crazy
ridiculous.
stat.
Yeah, and for them to throw a penalty on that, I'm just sitting there throwing. I'm like, they're trying to give this game to the Saints again. It's just insane. So then the halftime rolls around. It's still 0-3. We haven't done anything.
Yeah.
And we got no points. Every time we got into the red zone, something screwed up. We lost at 4th and 1. We turned the ball over on a bad snap with Brady. And but we've been stopping them. So that was encouraging. But then halftime rolls around, and man, did things change quick. Josh Wells was out; he got hurt. Akeem Hicks was out, foot injury, which I saw him. I can't remember what play it was, but I saw him, and I was like, "Oh, he's limping," and sure enough, he was out.
It really didn't take long, did it?
No.
Like a game and a half.
Game and a half. And then, there was the Scotty Miller issue.
That one was so... I have one every year, don't I? Like last year, it's like O.J. Howard. Yeah. I've always got one where I'm like, why? Scotty. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I mean, he's made some great plays for us, but so many. Just in that game yesterday, you're like, what are you doing? Yeah. You fall down before the ball gets there.
I know.
I mean, just out of nowhere, he just like trips and falls. So anyhow, we ended up marching downfield, getting a field goal, 6:44 in the third quarter. First points we put on the game.
And we're like, yes, we're tied. So close.
Which I was sweating it at that point.
I know.
I'm like, man, are we gonna...
Is this going to be another shutout? Because the last game that we played against them shot out, and it was only 9-0. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, we're close to a repeat of that.
But then, with 1 minute and 11 seconds left in the third quarter, we got a fumble. Carl Nassib, gay stats. Recovered the fumble. Can't remember who popped it out. Somebody punched the ball out. And that is when the game turned around. Let's see, we got the ball in the fourth quarter. We went to punt it. It was on 4th and 1. They ended up with 12 men on the field, so we got the ball again.
That one, you're like, ooh, that's a big...
Yeah,
how
they
do you
started screwing up.
that up? Yeah.
And then there was the big fight. Scotty Miller's going down, the deep ball being covered by Sean Lattimore. Lattimore was, handsy with him. looking at the replay, I'm like, it could have gone either way.
Yeah.
He did interfere with him, but, I'm just not a big fan of all these ticky-tacky pass interference calls. But apparently on the sideline, they thought that, Lattimore was just a little too aggressive.
Who say, though? Let's name names.
Bruce Arians.
It was Bruce Arians.
And
Bruce Arians instigated this whole thing. It was BA. And I love BA, and I don't fall. I love the fight, the whole thing. I was like, we could have lost here, and I'd be happy with this fight.
Yeah,
forget it. I don't care. I don't care if Mike Evans is suspended. We lose the game. Mike Evans is suspended. Who cares? Because that fight was great. But it started with BA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. BA started flapping his jaw at Lattimore. And Tom Brady, it was a long pass. It was like a 40-yarder. And so Tom Brady starts jogging down there.
Why? I don't know. Why was he down there?
Well, I can't tell if he
did he go to yell at the ref?
I think he was going to yell at the ref. Mm-hmm. And Lattimore was walking by him. Lattimore and Bruce Arians were jawing at each other. And Brady got in between them as he was walking towards the ref. And Lattimore said something to Brady. He saw Lattimore lift his arm up screw you too.
His arm at Brady.
And Brady turned around and started talking crap back to him and got up in his face. Uh-huh. And that's when Fournette came over, shoved Lattimore. Yeah. Lattimore shoved Fournette all up in the helmet. Yeah. And that's when Mike Evans came out of nowhere. And again, he did this back when James Winston just clobbered Lattimore. Gosh. Decleated him.
Marshawn Lattimore should not turn his back on Mike Evans. No. Because there's going to be a cheap shot in there. It was a cheap shot. Oh, I don't care.
I don't care.
I got no problems with it whatsoever.
Yeah, he needs to have his head on a swivel around Mike Evans. Because it's like Mike Evans is looking for it. Mm-hmm. Now, some people are saying that Bruce Arians told Evans to go
get out him. There, yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I didn't see apparently there's clips. The angle I saw, you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's a million angles. And Mike Florio was reporting that the league was investigating BA too.
Yeah.
So they may tell BA hey, you can't be on the sideline.
You can't hang out on the sideline.
You're an instigator.
You're a bad influence.
It did just get released about 20 minutes ago that Mike Evans is suspended for a game, and no one else got suspended, just Mike.
Yeah. That's understandable. Kind of, I guess. But if you're going to get a penalty for taunting, why wasn't Lattimore penalized for that too? Because obviously he was talking crap to a lot of people, But Mike Evans comes out, he clobbers Lattimore, and then the bench is cleared. Vita Vea is out there. Wirfs was out there.
Yeah. There's somebody else on defense that was out there.
I want to say Golston. It was a mob, and it was good stuff.
All came out.
Yeah.
I think it was Cameron Jordan that was pulling Lattimore away from it, because it was a bunch of Bucs. There were not many black jerseys. It was a lot of Bucs, and so Cam Jordan was the one pulling him out.
Yeah, there was at one point I saw a train of Bucs pulling each other. It was Darden had the back of Wirfs in the horse collar, and he was pulling Wirfs. And Wirfs,
Darden is so tiny. What did he think he was gonna do?
Well, no, they were walking, and he was
okay.
He was pulling him away, walking him away from the crowd, but he had him by the horse collar. But then Wirfs had somebody else by the horse collar, Evans or something. So he was pulling him. So it looked like a train of ducks or something walking. It was funny. But again, this is not the first time this has happened.
No.
Evans and Lattimore hate each other.
I think these teams hate each other.
These teams hate each other.
So
this probably might want to be one of the biggest rivalries in the NFL right now.
That's a tall order.
Yeah.
I mean, you got all the NFC North, the Green Bay, Bears, Detroit.
Well, Green Bay and Chicago is kind of
You
like
go so far back.
but it's kind of like the Redskins and the Cowboys. Only the Redskins are rivals in that the matchup. I don't think the Cowboys even think about Washington. And it's kind of how Chicago and Green Bay is right now. It's like Green Bay fans don't think about Chicago, except, this is an easy win for us.
Yeah.
But man, do the Bears hate Green Bay.
Can you blame him?
No.
And then for Aaron Rodgers last year, when he went into the stadium, and what I own you.
Oof.
That hurts. At least they got it out of the way early this year, that game. So what I thought this fight indicated was we're so much more physical.
Yes.
And that's been a problem when we've played the Saints is that they have out physicaled us. And so this year, to see that fight and to see how it shifted the momentum in the game, how it impacted the Saints.
Yes.
So I was happy to see they got punched in the mouth. And I think it helped us. I think that's why we won. It turned around after, it was kind of the tide was shifting, but it solidified it.
Yes. Because right after that was when Jamel Dean got the interception. That really started the whole avalanche.
And wasn't it was such a Jameis Winston game. Jameis Winston, fourth quarter is his time to shine. He's gonna show up in the fourth quarter, good and bad. You don't know which Jameis you're gonna get. So for Ralph and I, when we're watching the game, we're like, it can go either way. The fourth quarter, here's where the show is gonna be, and I don't know. He could be lighting it up with 50-yard bombs. Or 50-yard interceptions.
Yeah, he's going to be entertaining either way.
Yeah.
That's one thing you could say about Jameis Winston, and I love the fact when he was with us as quarterback was every game was entertaining. Which, it might be entertaining in a really bad way, but it was entertaining. There was no boredom with Jameis Winston. And I think the Saints fans are starting to learn that. Because Drew Brees was kind of boring. Jameis Winston, never boring. Never. You're always going to get something from it. Whether it's pregame eating the W's, bunny hops, pump fakes on the...
to the guy he's throwing
to. The guy he's throwing to. You're going to get some stuff with Jameis Winston. So, right after the fight, the Saints come out and Evans Lattimore... Jamel Dean gets the interception, which was a great interception. Jameis Winston was really trying. Again, he tries to squeeze things in. He's not that accurate.
He did make some good throws.
Oh yeah,
yesterday.
The thing about Jameis, he'll give you the $1 million arm. But then 25% of the time you're gonna get the noodle arm. So that's the thing with him. He just not that he's just not consistent.
Yeah.
And he focuses on the weird stuff more than he focuses on the precision. So right after that Perriman touchdown, beautiful bomb, beautiful. Perriman was draped by that cornerback, and it was like he wasn't even there. Perriman didn't faze him at all. He didn't fight the guy off or nothing. He just stuck his arms out, boot, ball landed right in his hand. And that had to have been embarrassing for that guy, because he was flopping all over the place, looking silly.
Yeah.
And Perriman just strolls down, catches the ball.
Oh my gosh!
Touchdown. It was a beautiful pass by Tom Brady, which is something that's not. Tom Brady is not given the credit he deserves for being so damn accurate. I mean, the guy is incredibly precise. And that ball was perfect. And they gave us the first lead we had for the game. Again, put us up 10-3. And then again, it just snowballed from there. It was the King Jameis came out and just did his thing after that. The very next play, the Saints get the ball. We sack Winston. The play after that, Jamel Dean with another interception.
Yes.
So 2 interceptions in 3 plays.
Another one that you were talking about last season did not play well. Here he is.
That reminds me, you pointed this out. SMB hasn't taken a snap all season. Now, going into week 1, SMB was going to be the starter. Remember? And then right before, like right after the preseason game, the 4th preseason game, because Jamel Dean was out there the whole time.
Yeah.
They said Jamel Dean was going to be the starter.
Yeah, we were all like, what?
Yeah, very strange.
Why?
And then since then, SOB hasn't taken a single snap. That's strange.
Oh yeah, there's something weird going on.
Something weird going on there. I don't know, maybe he's injured, working on an
I don't
injury.
know.
We haven't followed any Bucs media. Like I said, we are focused on me recovering from death's bed, but getting the house done and finishing moving in and stuff. But so we haven't listened to any Bucs media or followed much of anything. So maybe that answer is out there. We'll try to look into it more. But so then we marched down the field. Bucs field goal. We're up 13-3. And then they get the ball back. Winston sacked. A few plays later, Mike Edwards with that beautiful pick six. He just snuck up under that thing, picked it off, ran it in. He's incredible, man.
I know. Why he wasn't a starter before this year?
Yeah.
You know?
No, Whitehead was.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Whitehead wasn't the ball hawk that Edwards is.
Yeah.
Good tackler. So, Jameis Winston started being Jameis Winston. He was getting sacked. He was making bad decisions, throwing interceptions. And it was funny because, this whole game, the announcers, Greg Olson, was just talking about how he had cleaned up his turnovers, And then all of a sudden, bam, bam, bam. And they just kind of shut up with that storyline.
They had to. Like, what can they say at that point?
For 3 quarters, that's all you had heard. And then all of a sudden, it was just like they were made to look foolish. And they just kind of went on to something else. With 3 minutes left, though, they did score a touchdown. Thomas got it was a
garbage time.
It was a garbage time. It was a good pass. It was very, very risky pass, which Jameis doesn't have a problem throwing. And Thomas did a really good job because the defender had his arm in there and was trying to get the ball out, but Thomas just grabbed it and bear hugged it, and it was a good catch by Thomas. So that's his second touchdown he's had since 2019. And
I think he got 2 last week.
Oh, okay.
So he's like on a roll.
He's on a roll.
They don't mean anything.
So he has 20-10 at that point, with 3 minutes left in the game. And then 2 minutes, 29 seconds left. Jameis Winston had been trying to hit that guy number 12 deep all game long. Olave?
I don't know how to say the name, but it's something like that.
And he finally got it. And I thought it was a touchdown.
I know.
He was open and he was going. And then the guy, he just stumbled. He had too much forward momentum or something. And he fell forward and fell, and the ball pops out. And Carlton Davis jumps on it, and we recovered the ball. It was a fumble recovery.
Well, at first he belly flopped on the receiver, and then caught and then recovered the fumble on him.
Yeah. And that's so apropos for Jameis Winston-led teams. I don't know if y'all remember, but when Jameis Winston was the quarterback here, we had all kinds of weird crap like that would happen with us. And I think it's endemic of leadership. You know,
Agreed. Yeah.
no matter how hard you fight it, you always end up following a leader in habit and character and all that good stuff. And Jameis Winston is just a goofy dude, you know, and he plays goofy and awkward, and weird stuff happens, and it's infectious. You know, and it happened with the Saints in this game. You started seeing weird stuff, bad decisions, funny, goofy moments, and it all comes from Jameis Winston, I think. And Jameis Winston is the type of quarterback who he wants to be the leader of the team. You know, some quarterbacks don't. You know, like Marcus Mariota, he's not a leader type guy. You know, he wants to do his job and let somebody else be the leader. Jameis Winston isn't. He's got to be the leader. Remember when he came here, Gerald McCoy was the leader of the team, and there was kind of a rift about who was going to be leader, and Gerald McCoy eventually said, I'm going to let Jameis Winston be the leader, and all that good stuff. And then things just really went sideways because it was a bunch of goofiness. So we got that fumble recovery, and then with 58 seconds left, Shaq Barrett gets a sack again on Jameis Winston. Sixth sack of the day on him. So we got 6 sacks on him. How many interceptions? 3. How many fumble recoveries? 2. With one that...
Yeah. There were 4 total fumbles.
4 fumbles. 2
and
recoveries.
they lost 2.
Yeah. So that's how many turnovers? That's 6 turnovers.
Hold on. It's in the team stat. Let's see.
6 sacks, 6 turnovers. And we really honestly should have won this game by 40 points.
It was 5 turnovers total.
Okay. And we had one turnover.
Yeah. That fumble. Early on.
So 3 interceptions, 2 fumbles.
Yeah.
God. And I'll tell you what though, our defense, they are
in 2024.
Yes. And I don't know what's going on, but they are wanting to rack up some stacks. They're coming from every direction. They're just doing crazy stuff and getting the ball, and they're getting these things when we need them. You know, which is what's really important. Now, I was worried about losing Sue and JPP. It does look like we're a little weak up the middle on the run.
That's something I think can work itself out as the season goes on. You know, it might just take a little bit of time for these guys to warm up.
Yes. But it looks like Tryon is going to do very well on the outside. You know, he's impressed me. Shaq looks like he's back to his form. So, you know, and Devin White is just blowing things up. I don't know what's got it. Last year he had an off year. It was bad. You know, I complained about it.
Yeah.
You know, he just didn't do a whole lot. But this year, man, it looks like he's out for out for blood.
His stats are crazy. So he had 11 tackles, 7 solo, a sack, a TFL, a pass defended, and a quarterback hit.
Yeah. Not bad.
Yeah.
But then, going back to the Jameis Winston infection, the last Saints play. Now they had a shot, you know, at coming back, but it was 4th down. There was a few seconds left. They needed a 1st down, and Jameis Winston threw the ball. The receiver caught the ball
From the
in
7,
the 1st down
Winston
territory,
again, throws toward the end zone,
but then
it's caught.
turned around to run out of
Touchdown,
bounds,
Saints.
stop the clock, and he
Michael
ran
Thomas, who had a pair of touchdowns
behind
last week, has the first touchdown for the home team today.
He ran behind the He ran behind the first down marker. Excuse that interruption there. Like I said, we're still dealing with the new setup. He ran behind the first down marker.
I know.
With 6 seconds left.
And went out of bounds.
And went out of bounds. And it ended up they turned the ball over with 6 seconds left. Mm-hmm. You're like, what? That was just boneheaded stuff.
You were right there.
Right.
Just hold the ball out.
Right. But that's, I don't know, Jameis Winston-led team. They do things like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, sometimes they're going to give you great, spectacular plays, but then they're going to make dumb, boneheaded plays. So, yes, I'm very, very happy with this Buccaneers team. We've watched a lot of football the past couple weeks, and I would say we are the best team. Best performance, when you look at teams that perform well and how they're playing, I'd say by far we're the best team. Yeah, the Rams-Atlanta game yesterday, that was a great game. But the Rams let Atlanta just clawed their way back.
Yeah. And it was 28-3.
Yeah, it was 28-3.
Rams were up 28-3. Atlanta starts coming back. And you're like, no, don't end that curse.
I was honestly rooting for Atlanta because I want the Rams to lose.
I think they're the bigger threat, and I think it would have, in the long run, benefited us for the Rams to lose.
Yeah, I'm not. The Falcons are no threat whatsoever to us. So I would prefer them to have taken the win so that it would have hurt the Rams. But again, in that game, the defense, everybody did great on Atlanta. They fought. They were punching people in the mouth, just fucking. And then Marcus Mariota just kept screwing. They kept handing him the ball on a golden platter, and he just kept screwing it up.
Couldn't do it.
There's a reason why Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota, just couldn't stay with their teams. They're just not good decision makers. They're great athletes, and they're dynamic to watch, but they're going to make boneheaded decisions. Mm-hmm. At one point in the Atlanta game, Marcus Mariota is chased outside the pocket, and he's running, and he trips, and he falls, and he belly flops, but he bounces right back up, and the announcer said, look at the athleticism?
Acrobatics.
Oh, yeah. Look at the acrobatics that he did. I'm like, yeah, that's acrobatics. You trip and fall.
That's what I'm going to call it. Next time I trip over the curb or whatever.
Be awed by my acrobatics. And me and Molly talked about this at great length last night about how, there's just such a dearth of good quarterback play. Because everybody's wanting these dynamic quarterbacks, these Mahomeses, I'm trying to think who is
Lamar
Jacksons, the Buffalo guy,
Josh Allen,
the Josh Allens, and you're getting the Marcus Mariotas and the Jameis Winstons and the Carson Wentzes and the, it's just, there's not a lot of good quarterback play out there. It's just really ugly. Mm-hmm. Even Matt Ryan in Indianapolis is looking like crap. I really thought he was going to go there and stop this, trying to be a dynamic quarterback, but no, he's bootlegging out the pocket and scrambling, and it's just like, what are you doing? That's not your forte.
It's getting shut out by Jacksonville.
Oof. Pat McAfee is not very happy. So, it's interesting. We're going to see if this trend continues or if they're going to finally realize that, hey, these Matthew Staffords and Tom Brady's are what's going to win you the championship. Now, they may not be as exciting because I ain't gonna lie, Tom Brady's a boring quarterback. Mm-hmm. Like Drew Brees.
By himself.
Boring quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. But they do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
They're good field generals. They get the team in order. They hold people accountable. God damn, I did not want to be on that field as a wide receiver yesterday with Tom Brady. He was, or the lineman. He was chewing everybody up.
I don't know how you can lead a team like that, like how people put up with that, but they did. I don't know.
It's Tom Brady.
I know, it's Tom Brady.
He could punch your baby in the face.
I know.
And you would thank him for it.
I know.
So, we'll see if the league is going to wake up, or if it's just going, that's the direction we're going, and there's no coming back. Are there any more pocket passing quarterbacks in the college level? I don't know.
Do field generals exist anymore?
Right.
No.
That's a
I
shame.
would say. Dying breed.
Yeah.
I think these athletic quarterbacks are easier to come across. I think a field general is very hard to do.
Very hard.
So hard.
Yeah. So, some great football, Sunday. But, besides the fact that we won, a lot of good games. The Baltimore-Miami game, great. Tua throwing 6 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson, 5.
Yeah.
11 touchdowns between 2 quarterbacks. And Miami came back from big deficit to win there. And so we're seeing some exciting games. I wouldn't say good football play, but from my estimation and all the games that I've watched, I'd say by far the Buccaneers are the most polished looking team. Mm-hmm. Our defense is just, we're just mauling people.
I mean, to hold Jameis Winston to 10 points, and then the week prior, the Cowboys offense.
Yes.
To 3. 3 points.
Yes.
I mean, that's just...
Which we really made the Cowboys look bad. And I was wondering, did we look that good, or are they just that bad?
Yeah, you just don't know week 1.
Yeah, you had no idea. So, but now I would have to say, no, it was us. We really just punched them in the mouth up and down the field. Mm-hmm. That was a beautiful game. Loved that game. We were so dead tired and exhausted. We were just laying there, but we still had enough gumption to cheer and hoot and holler. The daughter wore her little Buccaneers cheerleading outfit. She was running around the house. She did it yesterday, too. We didn't even ask her. She just runs up, puts it on, comes down. We took pictures.
Sure, we're turning her around, guys.
Oh, yeah. She's a big Buccaneers fan now. Who was it she used to like? Well, it was the Redskins for a while.
Yeah.
Because her granddad is a Redskins fan.
The Cowboys, right?
I think she liked the Cowboys because of their blue.
Like the
No,
star.
I think she said she wanted to be a Panthers fan because she knew that made me mad. I can't remember, but anyhow.
That's about right.
Then last year she broke down and she said, "I'm going to be a Buccaneers fan, Daddy." That was so cute. She's trying to get that new bike.
I know. With another one coming, she needs to secure her position. That's what it is.
So yeah, Tom Brady didn't have the best stats this Sunday. Did he even break 200 yards passing? 190.
190. So no, he didn't even break 200.
No. A lot of that I think is due to his receivers.
Yeah.
Mainly Scotty Miller.
Right, he went 18 for 34. So how many drops are in there?
Yeah, a lot because, Tom Brady wasn't throwing bad passes. Mm-hmm. I could think of 3 that bounced off of Scotty Miller's hands.
Yeah.
But then again, Scotty Miller did get us a couple crucial first downs too.
He did. And I had even forgotten about those. We rewatched the game, and during the game, I'm just infuriated, and I'm like, why does he have a roster spot? And then when we watched it the second time, I was like, oh, he did make some pretty good plays, some good catches. So,
So can't be too mad.
Can't be
There's a reason there.
Right. And yeah, he had 34 yards, but he had only 3 receptions, 8 targets. So he dropped 5. He dropped at least 3 of those 5.
Yeah, for sure. That were right in his hands.
Oh, God.
Yeah, the one target was the one that started the whole Lattimore fight. So wasn't really a whole lot he could do there.
Okay. So he's got two targets where he gets the benefit of the doubt. And
Yeah.
maybe they weren't his fault.
Maybe not.
Still not great.
Not the best in the world. And we needed him to step up. Now, Perriman did a great job, I thought. He had that one pass. It was a beautiful catch. It was kind of backwards with his hands, but the defender was able to get his arm in between Perriman's arm, and then he hit Perriman's arm and made him drop the ball. That would have been a beautiful catch. But Perriman had some good catches, and especially that touchdown. But there is a big difference in our team when Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are not out there. Russell Gage has not impressed me yet. I haven't seen anything from him.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to see Mike Evans and Julio Jones out on the field together.
I think had Julio played, I think it would have been a different game.
Yeah.
Because he knows the Saints too.
Yeah. And he's so physical.
Yeah. So, losing him, I think, was an even bigger blow than maybe like being without Godwin.
Yeah, I agree. So, we've got the Green Bay Packers coming up. We play them, is that 4?
Yeah, on Sunday.
4 o'clock Sunday at home, Raymond James Stadium. So we get to humiliate them at home, our house.
So is this the first home game? Because the Cowboys was at Dallas. So.
Yes.
Yay!
All right.
Oh, it'll be a good game. And Aaron Rodgers hates our field. He gets so pissy about.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And then, they beat Chicago. I mean, week 1 they got stomped. And
Who they play?
wasn't Kansas City, was it? Who was it? I can't remember. But then week 2 they played Chicago, and they beat Chicago pretty handedly. But Chicago sucks. I mean, I don't know what they're doing with their quarterback there, Fields. He's just not a good quarterback. But I don't think Chicago's ever had a good quarterback.
Yeah.
But they don't have anything else to go along with it. Normally they have a run game or something, but they don't have anything now. They blew up their defense. So Green Bay winning yesterday was an indication of how good their team is. Matter of fact, I thought it was a very sloppy win. I thought they looked kind of bleh. I fully expect to curb stomp them. We will have our breakdown later in the week, the podcast. Hopefully I'm going to get to all 22. I've got access to it. I just don't have it in a form that I can do the Tiffy videos just yet. So be on the lookout for that. I'll let everybody know what's going on. But we'll definitely have a podcast out breaking down the upcoming game against the Green Bay Packers.
Yay.
But guys, looks like, again, we got the best team in the league. I think the Bills look really good. I haven't watched the Chargers yet, but from what I can see, we're the best team in the league right now, and we beat the Saints without our top 3 wide receivers. So.
What about the Rams?
I wasn't that impressed with them. Of course, Cooper Kupp, he's getting everything
Always.
over there. Yeah. I mean, it's just ridiculous at how people can't cover him. He's always just wide open. I don't get it. Everybody knows they're going to throw it to Cooper Kupp.
You know where it's going.
Yeah, you've got 5 guys covering him, and somehow he gets open. I don't know.
And then it makes 40 yards.
Yeah. Yeah, he's really the whole Rams team, it seems like. So, I don't know, man. They're still, until we beat them, they're the better team. But
Yeah.
at this point, I would say we are the better team. All right. That's going to wrap it up for us. I hope the audio and everything was good enough and people made it this far. We'll get everything worked out back to somewhat of a normal state soon. Anything else?
No. Think we covered it.
All right, guys. be happy. This is the probably the tail end of Tom Brady's career, if not the end. And just relish this, cherish it. We've been through a lot as a franchise. The past decade was really horrible. It was rough, but this made it all worth it, man. I mean, we got our Super Bowl. We had a great year last year. Didn't turn out the way we wanted to at the end, but it looks like we're coming on strong again this year, and we are definitely contenders for the Super Bowl, winning the championship. Just absorb it, relish in it, and enjoy this, man. Next week we're going to beat the Packers. That's going to be fun. And until next time.
Go Bucs.